"Excuse me, miss. This isn't a museum. Either you buy it or you put it back." The voice cut through the quiet hum of the upscale boutique like a blade. Sophia flinched and looked up from the dress she had been admiring. Her fingers were still tracing the hem. A silken emerald green, the color of hope, or maybe envy. The price tag dangling from the sleeve was $1,295. She let out a breath and gently returned it to the rack. The clerk, a young woman in red lipstick and judgmental eyes, didn't even pretend to hide her smirk. Sophia's cheeks burned. She gave a polite nod and walked out of the store, her threadbare sneakers making a soft thud against the polished floor. It had been a stupid idea anyway. She had no intention of buying anything. She was just passing time between her double shifts at the diner and the hospital where she cleaned at night. It was her daughter Emma's 10th birthday tomorrow, and Sophia had wanted to see what it might feel like to one day afford something so beautiful, just once. Sophia had lived paycheck to paycheck ever since Emma's father disappeared before she was born. Life had been a constant balancing act of bills, scraped knees, and dreams deferred. But even in scarcity, there was abundance of love, laughter, bedtime stories, and dreams whispered under patchy blankets. She'd promised Emma they would have a small celebration. Cupcakes from the corner bakery and a second-hand bicycle she found for $20 on Facebook Marketplace. It wasn't much, but to Emma, everything her mom gave was magic. The next morning, Sophia rose before the sun. As she tied her apron in the diner's kitchen, a man walked in, mid-60s, crisp suit, stern eyes softened by time. He sat at the far booth alone, flipping through a leather notebook. Sophia poured him coffee and offered the usual pleasantries, but he didn't smile, just nodded and returned to his scribbles. He came again the next day, then the next, always at 60:45 a.m., always the same booth. By the fourth visit, Sophia dared to ask, "Early meetings?" The man looked up, surprised she'd spoken. No meetings." His voice was hoarse, almost hesitant. "Just trying to remember who I used to be." She tilted her head. "I used to come here years ago, with my wife, before Ig." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Sophia softened. "Well, I'm glad you're back. The booth missed you." He smiled then. The kind that doesn't quite reach the eyes but says thank you for seeing me. A week later, as Sophia was clearing his table, the man stood to leave but paused. "You have kind eyes," he said. Sophia blinked, startled. "Thank you. You'll remind me of her. Your wife." He nodded. She saw people too, not just their price tags. And then he left. On Emma's birthday, Sophia brought out the modest cake, candles flickering like tiny wishes. "Make a wish, baby." Emma shut her eyes tight. "I wish for a green dress like the one princesses wear." Sophia laughed, brushing away a tear before it could betray her. 2 days later, the man at the diner returned. But this time, he was different, lighter somehow. "I want to give you something," he said. Sophia shook her head immediately. "You don't have to." "I know," he interrupted. "That's why it matters." From his briefcase, he pulled out a box. Inside was the emerald dress. "The dress," Sophia gasped. I can't accept this." He looked at her with that same gentle gravity. "You can, because I've spent my whole life buying things, and none of them ever made me feel human. But watching how you live, how you give even when you have nothing, that reminded me what it means to love." He handed her a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten noting to Emma. "May you always know that your worth has nothing to do with numbers. Your smile is priceless. Happy birthday, from a stranger who remembers love." That night, Emma twirled in the living room, the green dress blooming around her like petals. "Mama, I look like a real princess!" As Sophia hugged her tight. "You are, baby. You always have been." A week later, The man never returned. Sophia asked around. No one knew his name. He never left a number, just a receipt for address and a memory stitched in kindness. But months later, Sophia received a letter in the mail from a law firm. The man, David Winston, had passed away. No children, no heirs. Just one request in his will. Done it everything. But give the diner waitress who reminded me of my wife whatever she needs to follow her dreams. Along with it came a check, enough to cover medical school tuition, if she chose, or to start a business, or simply breathe. The ultimate showdown had never really been between wealth and poverty, between dollars and dreams. It was between the cold number on a price tag and the unmeasurable warmth of a human heart. And in the end, it wasn't the price tag that won. It was the priceless.